When I was assaulted by one of my colleagues, that really struck me the most, because it struck me for a couple reasons. One, because it was such an egregious act. And then looking back, what also struck me was my willingness to not talk about it. And my boss's view that was very unattached. So I get assaulted. My initial reaction was one of, I can't believe this happened. This is not right. That kind of moral compass that I was raised with kicked in. And then, talking to my boss, who was a partner, he said, listen, you could complain about this to HR. We have those paths open, but we're not getting rid of this guy. And the sick joke of it all was, this guy had something better than coming from Harvard. He was a scratch golfer, and he could have been a pro golfer. A lot of his former golf friends were pros. And that meant he was able to get my partner and all the other partners on all the golf courses around the world, Pebble Beach, Baltusrol, Augusta. And that currency was worth so much to the senior management at Goldman that they said, listen, we're not getting rid of him. So you can report it, but imagine how hard it's going to be for you to work with him after you do. And so that was also shocking. But the third thing that, looking back, was was even more shocking was I said, okay. And I didn't say anything because I felt so lucky to be there. And I was getting paid outsized money. I was able to support my family of origin. I was married and hoping to have a family of my own. And that scarcity mindset around money just made me not say anything. And that, to me, looking back, is the most sad thing of all. And, I think back to when I was writing my book and my amazing editor at Simon & Schuster, who very gently in the comments would be like, and why didn't you leave now, Jamie? And why not now? And for the love of all good things, why not now? And so she really kind of forced me to explore the themes of why I didn't speak up. And Goldman was so good at making me believe that I was nothing without them, nothing without their role, nothing without their money. So much of my identity was tied to being a managing director at Goldman. Ironically, I never bragged about it. I never talked about it. I was very humble. I didn't want to oh, look at me. I knew. And coming from that little girl who wore a back brace to, in school and used to get teased and mocked, it's like I had arrived. I was Jamie from Goldman. And so for me, that's really kind of what it was. And that's why now that I'm an executive coach, when I work with clients, it's so important for all of us as women to have our own identity, not tied to any job, any person, any spouse, any children, because this theme transcends careers. I have many friends who, took a step back and worked to raise their kids. The last one goes to college. They feel lost. And if we're always focused on who we are, what our values are, what our personal mission statement is, what our life's purpose is, we can bring that to any role. We can bring that to parenthood. We can bring that as a spouse. We can bring that as an employee, but yet we're a little unattached. So if any of those go away, we still know who we are.